Hello, and welcome to today's lesson on invention strategies and learning styles in our unit on the writing process. Our goal today is to understand the importance of invention and have a set of strategies you're able to bring to your classroom. Yesterday, we discussed the importance of the writing process. Today, we will focus on invention, pre-writing, as the first step in the writing process. Our learning objectives are to define invention and its purpose, build knowledge of effective invention strategies to use in writing, select various invention strategies based on learning styles, and determine best practices for using various invention strategies to take to the classroom. What is invention? Traditionally, it was used as a way to search for arguments. However, a more modern take of invention, which is often called pre-writing, is a catch-all term for that first step of the writing process and used to find ideas no matter the genre. All right, I want you to stop and think. In 1 minute, I want you to write down all the reasons we should have students pre-write and any pre-writing strategies you use. Excellent. Now please turn to the person next to you and discuss what you came up with. Great, I heard some amazing discussions happening. I found this quote and I thought it highlighted exactly the importance of invention. No matter what forms and genres you ask your students to write, without content, there can be no effective communication, and invention is the process that supplies writers and speakers with content. So why invention? As writers or teachers, it's to help stop writer's block by helping generate ideas to get started, refocus when writing gets off topic or sidetracked away from a central idea, and can help when we need to add or readjust ideas while drafting or revising writing. Invention can help ease writer anxiety, unpack the prompt for better understanding, and find those connections between ideas to help narrow the topic to write about. Okay. I am going to pass out this invention strategies worksheet for you to fill out. As we go through the different learning styles and the invention strategies within those learning styles, I want you to write these strategies down. The ones we're going to discuss in detail, and also the ones we mentioned that you may want to research further after the class. So what is your preferred learning style? Raise your hand if you are a read-write learner and you gather ideas by reading or writing about them. Great. Raise your hand if you are a visual learner. You learn by seeing something. Excellent. Raise your hand if you're an auditory learner. You learn best when you hear or you can talk through ideas. Excellent. And where are my kinesthetic learners? You learn best by needing to move around, hands-on activities. Excellent. I asked this because Lisa Leopold found that teachers often use learning styles they are most comfortable with, and warn teachers to be careful not only to use their preferred learning style. This can create a mismatch between teacher learning style and student learning style. And just because students need to write does not mean invention needs to be written. And teachers should diversify pre-writing strategies to meet the needs of all student learning styles. Okay, our first learning style we have is read-write. This invention strategies are likely the most familiar to you. Most universities offer these strategies in their writing center. For example, the following strategies can be found on the University of Canvas and Vanderbilt University Writing Center webpage. There is free writing. You set a 5-minute timer and write without stopping. Don't care about what's being written, the grammar, sentence structure. If it makes sense, you just keep writing. And when time's up, you go over what you wrote and highlight interesting ideas. The next is listing. This helps generate ideas and build associations. You make a list of anything that comes to mind within a topic. Next, we have journalist questions. These answer who, what, where, when, why, and how. Answering these will help clarify important points and get students to dig deeper into a topic. Who is affected? How or why is it significant? And then we have looping. After a free write, take an idea you highlighted and free write for a set time on that idea. Keep repeating this process until a topic emerges. Here is an example of a table Leopold created of invention strategies for auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learning styles. We'll be taking a closer look at some of these strategies. The following is a list of invention strategies you can use for visual learners. Please remember to add to your worksheet as we go through. The first visual learning invention strategy is mapping. Now, I use mapping as a broad term to include concept mapping, mind mapping, and webbing. Concept mapping helps students to identify key points and organize their thoughts. Flanagan and Buck found that the creation of and use of concept map led to significant and immediate increases in written expression quality, evident through greater use of supportive details, inclusion of less irrelevant information, and better organization. This is simply done by taking a central idea and putting it at the top or in the middle, so baking, and then subcategory to cake, pies, cupcakes, and then maybe frosting or batter style or design style. Maybe you find that's too broad and you need to narrow down your topic. Some students learn best through visual representation, and storyboarding is an excellent option to generate and organize ideas into a picture presentation. We use storyboarding a lot with narrative writing. However, Kirby and Liner suggest having students create slides of their essay ideas to keep them focused as they create the supporting documentation for those ideas. So here, this could be a storyboard of a narrative piece about making a garden, or maybe it's starting to generate an essay topic about the importance of pollinators or photosynthesis. Next, we have auditory learners. The first invention strategy we will discuss is talking. Jennifer Byrne suggests tapping into the oral tradition and having students talk through their ideas and what they want to write about. This can be recorded and replayed to get the ideas written down. Most students will have those phones with them. Let them record them thinking out loud or talking with a friend. Sometimes we have excellent thoughts that are fleeting, and this way they're recorded and able to replay to get those ideas. Next, we have debating. Debating works well for argument essays. Have students pair up and a teacher or student come up with a controversial statement, such as book adaptations are better as TV shows than movies. Students can rock, paper, scissors, coin flip, draw a slip of paper to determine which side they need to argue. In 2 minutes, they must convince their partner of their point of view and then switch roles. Discuss who is more convincing and why. This often leads to a discussion of factual evidence, opinions, ways to strengthen an argument that's organic and student-led instead of the teacher explaining what needs to happen. Podcasting can be used as an invention strategy and not a final product. Similar to a talk method, but more formal. An English professor, Lee Jones, started using podcasts as a form of invention to great success that led to students feeling a sense of authority over their topic, which translated into their writing. The assignment was the students created a 5-minute podcast that provided an overview of the topic with 1 to 2 supporting examples. Started with "This just in," and was to be played in front of the class for peer feedback. Jones found that this invention strategy created a stronger sense of classroom community, increased student authority, more risk-taking was involved with student writing, and papers earned higher grades than previous classes. Finally, we have our kinesthetic learners. These learners enjoy movement, so a gallery walk is an excellent strategy to get students up and moving around. Paper is taped onto walls with a topic heading. Students have a certain amount of time with each topic, and they can answer by writing, drawing, chatting with the group. They then write their response to the topic or respond to another student on the paper or on a sticky note. Keep these up and have students do another walk around to view all the responses and write down ideas that resonated with them. Next, we have affinity diagrams as a way to manipulate ideas and find patterns and be able to work individually, small groups, or as a whole class.
Diagrams can be done on a paper or chalkboard, but a nice way to work with them is to use sticky notes. Write your core ideas on individual notes, then give yourself a target number of other details and concepts, or a target time to brainstorm ideas. Then, arrange the ideas you've come up with, hopefully more than you need, on a flat surface, like a wall or a door. You can organize them based on which concepts are most important, or which ones are dependent on others. Try out different ways of organizing them. You also might put all the sticky notes that relate to each other into different areas of the wall, thinking about what makes one idea fit well in one place and not in another. Affinity diagrams generate more ideas, but their big benefit is giving you initial connections between ideas that can make later writing steps, like planning, easier.
Next, we have hexagonal thinking. Hexagonal thinking is similar to affinity diagrams. Here, students or a teacher write down key concepts, themes, symbols, history connections, quotes on hexagons, cut them out, and move them around to find and make connections between the cards. You could use this with a literary analysis. You have hexagons of themes, characters, conflict, literary devices, key quotes, and have students move the hexagons around to make connections and help build towards a thesis statement. Of course, invention doesn't need to be limited to a single strategy. You can use multiple strategies at once. Different learning styles of the same learning style doesn't matter. Or even go back to invention anytime in the writing process. Say, as you are drafting and you come up with an idea, go back to invention with that idea to flesh that out. Maybe as you're revising, you realize you need to find more support. You can use an invention strategy to help generate ideas to gain more support for the idea you're going with. All right, now it's your turn. On your table is an envelope with topics. Choose one topic to write about. Try one of the invention strategies that match your preferred learning style. You'll have about 10 minutes to do this. If you find that you've gone quicker, you can pick another strategy to work with, or maybe a strategy that combines with your first strategy. Discuss with your table what you thought about the strategy. Is it something you could use with your students? Does it need to be modified? Could your strategy be combined with another strategy? In the last 5 minutes of class, I'm going to ask you to fill out an exit slip. On the note card provided, please write down the following: 3 invention strategies you want to use, 2 ways you will use invention strategies in your classroom, and 1 reason why we use invention in writing. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow for our next lesson.